Hello students, welcome back. Myself Pushpender Singh, and we are going to start with our ninth class history. So we have already started the word history, and these classes are basically useful for those students who are preparing for the civil services examination. And the word history is basically a part of your syllabus in the civil services mains examination. So those students who are preparing for the civil services examination as well as other government competitive examinations, they can also refer and see and watch our videos on the YouTube. Okay, so these video lectures are basically uploaded on the YouTube on the day-to-day basis. So you can subscribe our channel on the YouTube. Okay, and where you will get the daily lectures on the NCERT based classes. Okay. Apart from that, we have also the current affairs classes also. That thing you will also get on the YouTube. So you can subscribe our channel for these lectures. All right. So let's begin with the class. Okay, last class what we have seen is we have seen the Russian Revolution. Okay, 1970. So we have seen in detail, right? What was the main causes of the Russian Revolution? What was the effect of the Russian Revolution? And what was aftermath? What was the condition after that, right? So we have seen the political, social, economic reasons for the revolution, for any revolution to happen. Okay. In the same way, we will see also the rise of Hitler in the Germany. As you know, the Hitler or Adolf Hitler is basically an autocratic leader of Germany, right? So we will learn more about the Nazi party or the Nazism, which was promoted by the Adolf Hitler in Germany. All right. So what we will learn in this chapter, is Weimar Republic or the Republic of Germany, how the Weimar Republic is basically born out of it. What was the effect of the First World War? Germany participated, and how was the effect? Okay, the First World War. Then we'll see the Germany, how was the Germany was defeated, what was the consequences, okay, and what was after First World War once the Germany was defeated, okay. The monarchy in the Germany completely quits. So we'll learn more about it in this chapter. Okay. So first we'll learn about the Weimar Republic. Okay. So first of all, the Weimar is basically a place. So National Assembly basically met at Weimar to wrote a constitution for the Germany. Okay. Now this is basically is a basically a republic for the formation of your the independent republic for writing a constitution. Now the deputies that was there, they were elected to the German parliament. The German parliament in the German language is called Reichstag or Reichstag, right? So the deputies were basically elected to the German parliament for functioning purpose, for making the law, for making various types of the laws. Now when you say in the democratic constitution in the Germany was also have some sort of a federal structure. Okay, there was a system called universal adult franchise. That means all the adults who are 18 and above are basically eligible to cast the vote or to vote in the elections. And they were also, unlike in the Russian Revolution or the French Revolution, there was very less the participation from the women. But here the women also participated. So universal adult franchise were also extended to the women, specifically in the working of the Weimar Republic. So two things you must understand. There was a National Assembly. Okay, the National Assembly basically met for writing the constitution for the Weimar Republic. And there was German Parliament, which was also known as Riksdag, right? Which were basically the deputies were assigned or elected to the German Parliament, and this election was based on the universal adult franchise. So you have the federal structure with democratic constitution. Okay, now what was the defects? Let's understand what was the defects related to the functioning of the Weimar Republic or the functioning of the constitution of the Weimar. So here you must understand there was a proportional representation. What is the proportional representation? The proportional representation, you must understand, is that type of representation that will be provided a representation to every sections of the society. Okay, so every sections of the society based on their proportion will be given a representation, right, in the National Assembly. Okay, so here it was made for achieving the majority by one party in a near impossible task, because if you understand proportional representation, for example, let's see there are 5 dominant groups in a particular country. So let's say A, B, C, D, E. Okay, now if you divided the seats among these 5, 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. Now what will happen? Can any party can win the majority in the country? No, it is highly impossible, because in the proportional representation, they will also have their own party. They will also have their own party. They will also have their own party. They will also have their own party, because they will be promoted to have their own party, because they were given the seats based on their proportion. So there will be proliferation of the political party. There will be many political parties. If there are many political party, obviously to getting a majority by one political party is nearly impossible task. So that is the one of the biggest drawback of any proportional representation system, because there will be proliferation of the political parties and it is highly impossible to get the majority, right, for particular political party. Now what will happen in that type of proportional representation? If there were many political parties, what will happen? Let's say these 5 political parties or 4 political parties respectively got, just say 15% votes. Okay, now what will happen if, let's say, the percentage that is required to formation of the government, let's say 50% plus. Now whether it is possible to form the government by this party? No, it is also not possible. It is not possible. Even if they all 3 club together, it is again not possible, because totally they are just 45%. So therefore, 4 political parties have to form a coalition government. So ultimately, there will be possibility of coalition government. So this coalition type of government is also called unstable government, right? So definitely, the one political party may not rule, okay, in the long term, and there will be the political party that will be based on the coalitions, based on the coalition partner, that will be ultimately going to win or going to rule the country. So this was also the one of the defect that was promoted by many political thinkers. Now then, in the Weimar Republic, the Constitution, Article 48, the Article 48 gave the president the power to impose emergency, right? This power to impose emergency, as well as suspending the civil rights and rule by the decree. So that is also most important problematic part, because such type of power, which is also pose a huge threat to the civil rights of the citizens in the country, because such type of powers have been given to the president, one person. So that type of unitary system, right, that type of unitary rule or monarchical type of rules, right, that will be making the president as a autocratic leader. So this is also one of the defects that were many political thinkers also claim in that. Okay, now the republic was not received well by its own people, largely because of it has to accept the peace treaty of Versailles after the Germany defeated at the end of First World War. So what happens is, the Germany has involved in the First World War, and Germany basically attacked many countries. Now what happens is, after First World War, when the Germany was defeated, the Treaty of Versailles basically was imposed on the Germany. As German leader Hitler also says that the Treaty of Versailles has imposed, right, a serious repercussions on the economy of Germany, because the Germany has to pay the huge sums of the money, not only huge sums of the money, but also other things. We will learn about the Treaty of Versailles. So it was huge problem for the Germany, right, that this Treaty of Versailles that was expecting from the Germany to be fulfilled. So that was also because the people was, certain section of the people was also against the Treaty of Versailles that was imposed on the Germany after Germany was defeated in the First World War. Now let's understand what was this Treaty of Versailles which was imposed. So obviously the Treaty of the Versailles was having certain conditions. That conditions actually made the Germany some sort of a in the embarrassment position, right? They lost many territories. For example, the Germany lost all its overseas colonies. That was also one of the most embarrassing situation, right, for any colonial leader, for losing these overseas colonies after defeating in the First World War. Okay, not only about overseas colonies, but Germany also lost 13% of its own territories. So this is also again, losing one's own territory is also biggest problem. Then Germany also lost 75% of its iron. Germany also lost 26% of its coal, right? So obviously, economically also the Germany was drained out based on this Treaty of Versailles. Now I'll tell you, the Treaty of Versailles was purposefully inflicted on the Germany because world leader knows that the Germany is the country which again can rose up, right? And which is also a threat to the world community. So they want to put the maximum burden on the Germany so that they could not rose up in the future. Okay, then Allied powers demilitarized Germany. So completely, those Allied powers have put maximum pressure on the Axis powers or on the Germany, and which has completely demilitarized Germany so that it could not rose up again in the rebellion. Okay, the Germany has to pay compensation of the 6 billion pounds. So you see, 6 billion pounds they have to pay. So huge sums of the money they have to pay. So they are draining in almost every way. They have lost resources, like you have the Rhineland, which is a rich resource hinterland or rich resource land. They have lost the Rhineland also. And many Germans held the new Weimar Republic responsible for not only the defeat in the war but also the disgrace at Versailles. So this is also I was talking about that such type of the Treaty of the Versailles which put right the maximum the disgraceful the conditions on the Germany. Many Germans also held that it was the new Weimar Republic or new government which was responsible for such the disgraceful treaty which drains the Germany like anything. Okay, so many people were also skeptical about such type of the treaties. Now let's understand what was the effect of the First World War. So first of all, the war has very devastating impact, right? Specifically on the Europe, both financially as well as psychologically, right? The male population have declined because many people, millions of the people died. Okay, psychologically many countries have defeated, so they were having some sort of a psychological effect also. So obviously the Europe become a debtor, right? First it was a colonial, many colonies of many colonial rulers basically from the Europe. Now because of this First World War, it becomes from creditor to debtor because now they have to have the huge resources, right, for the purpose of fighting or waging the war. They have to have all sort of a the military apparatus like aeroplanes, right, all sort of a bombs, right, all sort of ammunitions which are required for fighting a war. So for that purpose they require the resources. So from being creditor, right, they will become debtor, right? So they were started seeking the loans from the Western, some other countries. Now what will happen? The supporters of the Weimar Republic was also criticized, right? And they become easy target of the attack, specifically in the conservative nationalist circle, because they feel that such type of the Weimar Republic that was basically the form of the government was basically responsible for our defeat. And the soldiers came to be placed above the civilians, which were highly repressing in the nature, right? Because the soldiers was placed and there was aggressive war propaganda, right, at that point of the time, because on that time the conservative nationalist circle were basically most dominated, and the war propaganda was basically mainly promoted, and there was the national honor. This was put on the stake, and there were people were only talking about the national honor. So national honor was become very very important for the purpose of waging aggressive war and to get the victory in the war. So slowly, what happens? There was political radicalization by some parties, and there was also the economic crisis. So what was happens, right? Spartacist League was basically established. This league was established on the pattern of the Bolshevik Revolution, which was held in Russia, that we have seen. Okay, now this Spartacist Spartacist League basically founded the Communist Party of Germany in the Germany, and the Weimar Republic, which was crushed, this uprising with the help of war veterans organized called the Free Corps, or the Free Corps, which were nothing but the crushing of the uprising, right, which was basically led by this Communist Party, right, with the help of these war veterans, and that was basically called the Free Corps. Now, what happens is the Treaty of Versailles was imposed, and in 1923, the Germany refused to pay the war compensation. That was, the 6 billion pounds that was imposed on the Germany, right? So what happens is, since Germany was unable to pay, and it was, many people thought that it was embarrassing treaty and it was unnecessarily very harsh terms have been imposed on the Germany. So what happens is German leaders refuse to pay that, we won't pay your war compensation. Okay. Now what will happen? The France basically took the step and occupied the Ruhr region, okay, which is having the leading industrial region or leading industrial area. So France occupied this Ruhr region, right? And now what happens is, to counter this, because Germany needed the money, so what will happen? The Germany started printing the paper currency recklessly. So they have started printing this money. So what will happen? Ultimately, if you just keep on printing the money without valuation, what will happen? Right? Your value of the currency will go down, isn't it? Because just keep pushing or keep printing the money does not solve the purpose or does not solve the problem. Rather, your currency will lose, the value. So that was happened. The value of the mark basically completely collapsed. And what will happen if you have excess money in your hand? What will happen? The prices of the goods will also rise, isn't it? You have excess money in your hand, and there were shortage, so people were can easily purchase those amount. So supply was less. So what will happen? The prices of the goods will also be rising. So value of the money will decline because of printing of reckless the currency, and secondly the prices of the goods would also be rising, and this has ultimately led to the hyperinflation. The hyperinflation is a term which is basically used in the economics, right? So all such things has ultimately led to the hyperinflation in the Germany. Okay, and there was a time when the Wall Street Exchange, which was crashed in 1929, and there was years of the depression, that the world was basically put under the depression, right? So between 1929 and 1932, right, because of this world depression, right, because of the financial the cause or the financial implication that was imposed, the national income of the USA fell by half, right, because of such depression. And that was, all the economies, all the world economies have faced this recession, right, because of such recession in the US economy, right, that was felt worldwide, because of the US was basically the leading country at that point of the time. So what was the effect on the Germany, right, at that point of the time, at that point of this recession? So what happens is, the Germany used to receive the short-term loans largely from the US. So these short-term loans are provided by the US to the German government. So what happens is, because of this repression, because of this depression, the industrial production was ultimately reduced, right? And the workers basically lost their jobs because there was no demand. There was no demand in the market. So obviously the production or production assembly has to be shut. So industrial production reduced, workers lost their jobs, right? So what will happen if there is no job available? The youths will obviously take to the criminal activities, because they also need the money to sustain, right? So they took, or they resorted to the criminal activities in the cities, right? And obviously the small business persons, self-employed person, they have suffered heavily, right? Their all business got ruined because of such the effects, and people basically completely lost their confidence on the democratic parliamentary system in the Germany, right? And people started thinking that there is no solution lies with the democratic parliamentary system of the Germany that is basically set up. So they started thinking of some alternative. They thought that there is no solution seems from such democratic parliamentary system. Okay. Now after that, the Hitler basically rose to the power. Okay. Hitler was basically born in Austria in 1889. Okay. And he was basically, with the armed forces. So he was acted as a messenger or the corporal with the armed forces, right, in Germany. He was basically in the First World War, and later he quit this armed forces and he joined the German Workers' Party. Okay, and with his effort, the German Workers' Party rose to the great heights, and he renamed this German Workers' Party as a National Socialist German Workers' Party. So he has renamed it in order to make this party most broad-based, more popular, right? In order to expand its base in the Germany, right? And later, this National Socialist German Workers' Party is also known as Nazi Party, right? So Nazism and Nazi Party is associated with the Hitler is also one of the important aspect of this National Socialist German Workers Party. Okay, and by 1932, when the voting when voting was happened, the Nazi Party was basically the largest party, right? It received 37% of the votes in the Germany. Okay, now the ideology of Nazism become the mass movement, right? Obviously during the Great Depression, because the people started thinking, because everybody lost their jobs, the people resorted to the criminal activities, like all industrial development, they have completely stopped, right? So what will happen in the democratic parliamentary system? People lost their faith. So during such great depression, right, when the income of the people fell drastically, right, this Nazism or this ideology basically become a mass movement, because people were also looking for some alternative at that point of the time. Okay, and 1932, as I told you, that the Nazi Party have become largest party with 37% of the votes of Germany. Okay, now what was the causes which has ultimately led to the destruction of the democracy in the Germany? Okay, so as I told you that when the 1932 elections was held, the Nazi Party was basically the largest party in the Germany. So on January 30th, 1933, the Hitler basically joined the cabinet of the ministers. So he achieved the highest position in the cabinet of ministers. Now, obviously, once he achieved the highest position in the cabinet of ministers, he can easily dismantle the structure of the democratic rule. So he started thinking of some alternative of this democratic rule. So what will happen in the fire decree that was imposed by the Hitler on 28th February 1933? He suspended the civic rights, right? The civic rights that were given to the people, like you have the freedom of speech, press, and the assembly, right? And the communists which were there, right? So they were basically, hurriedly packed off to the newly established concentration camp, right? That were basically there. And now all political parties were banned at that point of the time, right? On the advice of the Hitler, that, and there was basically huge surveillance, right? And the special security force was created to control the people, right, at that point of the time, and to rule with the impunity, so that no one come as a roadblock in the path of this Nazi party. So there was huge, the steps that were taken by the Nazi party in order to control the people and to rule with the impunity. Okay, now how this reconstruction was basically led. So, the Hazalmer Skat basically took over the responsibility for the economic recovery of the Germany. Okay, the state-funded projects basically started. Okay, and these state-funded projects were basically led to the German superhighways and the people's car, which was also known as Volkswagen, which is also famous now. So public funded, right, projects were basically mainly, promoted in that point of the time. And the Rhineland, which was basically occupied, right, by, which Germany was lost during First World War, the Hitler reoccupied this Rhineland in 1936. Okay, and because of the Hitler efforts, right, he integrated Austria and the Germany in 1938, right? And the Hitler also acquired the German speaking Sudetenland, which was also the neighboring territory of the Germany. And the Hitler basically have some sort of aggressive propaganda, right, with having a superiority of the race, right, which have the highest level of the superiority in their mind. So Hitler chose the war to recover from the economic crisis, right? That is how the Hitler used to work at that point of the time. So at that point of the time, Hitler chose to for the work, and the Second World War was basically started. So in the Second World War, that was started in 1939. So what was happened on September 1939? The Germany invaded Poland, right? And what happens is that basically point of the time the Second World War was basically started. So he started a war with the France and the England, because the Poland was basically allied with France and the England. So what happens is a tripartite pact was basically signed between Germany, Italy, and Japan to resolve the issues. Now, again, in June 1941, the Germany attacked the Soviet Union, right? And it was basically the Soviet Union was basically the Germany, especially the Russia, which was ultimately defeated, right? So Germany exposed through both of these sides, right? And from the Western fronts, right, to the Britishers, and to the Eastern fronts to the Soviet armies. So both of these armies, from the Britishers from the Western fronts and to the Soviet armies to the Eastern fronts, both were basically came heavily on the Germany, specifically because of such aggressive policies that was basically propounded by the Hitler during the Second World War. And ultimately the Soviet army defeated the Germany at the Battle of Stalingrad, and that was complete devastation of the Germany at that point of the time. So Japan basically bombed the US base at the Pearl Harbor at that point of the time, and because of the Japan which entered and bombed the US base at the Pearl Harbor, the US was forced to enter into the Second World War, because in the First World War US did not participate at all, right? It remained aloof. It started building their economic economy at that point of the time during First World War. But because of the Japanese bombing on the Pearl Harbor, which is a US territory, which is a US base, the US basically entered into the war. It was forced to enter into the war. And ultimately, you know very well, the most famous and tragic incidents called the nukes on the two towns of the Japan, the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki, right? Both of these towns were basically bombarded by the atom bomb, and it was completely devastation for the Japan, right? And the war was ended in the May 1945 when the Hitler was defeated. When the Hitler was defeated, obviously the Soviet army already defeated the Germany in the Battle of Stalingrad, and ultimately the Hitler was defeated in the May 1945, and with that defeat, right, the Second World War was basically ended. Okay, so that was the tragic incident that was happened during the Second World War. Now, what is the Nazi worldview? So in the Nazi worldview, so first of all, what is this Nazi, or what is this Nazi ideology? So according to the Nazi ideology, there is no equality between the people. Okay, there is no equality between the people, but only the racial hierarchy. And in the racial hierarchy, because the Nazism ideology is also based on some sort of the unequal view or inequality among the people. Okay, so Nazism basically believes that there is some racial hierarchy, and in the racial hierarchy, we are the superior race, and people are not equal. So there is no equality between the people, and especially the Nordic German Aryans, that the Hitler also belongs to that. Okay, the Nazis ideology is basically thought that the Nordic German Aryans were basically at the top of this hierarchy, and they believe that the Jews, which were basically occupied the many establishment in the Germany, right? And the Nazism ideology also rose against these Jews. So they thought that the Jews were basically at the lowest level of this racial hierarchy, right? And all other races, they are found in between them, in between two. So the Nazism ideology, the Nordic German Aryans were at the top, the Jews, they are at the bottom, and remaining other races are basically in between them, right? and the new territories has to be acquired for the settlement of this Nordic German Aryan race. So they want the expansion of their territory. They want that the expansion of the territory is needed in order to settle for the greater place that is required for the Nordic German Aryan race. Okay, this was a racial utopia that was basically propagated by the Nazism or by the ideology of the Nazi. So Hitler basically divided and occupied the northwestern Poland because the Hitler basically attacked the Poland at that point of the time, and the Poles were basically forced to leave their homes. Okay, that they were forced because there was some sort of a religious or some sort of a racial utopia or racial discrimination that was there. Now, whoever the educated Polish people which was there or educated Polish classes which were there, they were murdered. Okay, they were looted and they were thrown out of their homes at that point of the time, right? And what was the role of the youth, especially in the Nazi Germany? So what was happens? All the schools, all the schools, they were cleansed and purified, right? Means the Jewish teachers were basically dismissed because the Nazi or the Nazism ideology is basically against the Jews. They were based on the hatred ideology against the Jews. So whoever the Jewish teacher they found in the schools, they were dismissed from the schools. So all the schools were basically cleansed and purified. How? Because of the Jewish teacher was basically dismissed, right? And the Jews which were basically physically handicapped, they were thrown out of the schools, right? And later they were sent to the gas chambers, and millions of the Jews, they were put in the basically in the chambers, right? And ultimately put to the death. Now, there was the prolonged period of the ideological training for the good German students, right, which were based on the racial superiority. So ideological training was imparted on the youths, so that they also trained in that racial superiority way. Okay, the school curriculum, the school textbooks, which were also rewritten and from the previous version. So they were rewritten in the sense that this shows or this reflect the religious or racial the superiority with the Germany or with the Nazis party. Okay, the racial science was introduced to justify the Nazi ideas of the race, which was basically imposed by the Hitler. So obviously the racialist propaganda, the racialist ideology, which was put forwarded, right, to justify the steps that were taken by the Hitler and its Nazi party, right, to prove that the Germany or the race, which is basically having the high in the at the highest level of the ladder in terms of the racial hierarchy, and the Jews is basically at the bottom of this, at the ladder of this racial ladder. And the children were basically taught to be loyal and submissive, right, to the Nazi party. And the children were also taught that they should also hate the Jews, and the children were also taught that they should worship the Hitler, who was basically the leader of Nazi party. Now, the 10-year-olds children, you can think of, they had to enter the Jung Walk, right? At 14, the all boys had to join the Nazi youth organization, that is the Hitler youth, the organization which is set up by the Hitler itself. And by that time they basically become at 18, they should join the labor service. So that is how the children used to be trained. Okay, so first they trained to be loyal and submissive, started hating Jews and worshipping the Hitler. 10 years old used to join or used to enter the Jung Walk. By 14, they used to join the Nazi youth organization. By 18, they used to join the labor service. So the Nazis cult of motherhood. So first of all, what is this Nazis cult? So whoever the boys are there, so there was differentiation between the boys and the girls. The boys were taught specifically with the steel-hearted, right, the huge heart, right, with respect to the aggressive and masculine features. The girls become the good mothers, right, so that they rear this pure blood Aryan children, and they ultimately become the propagator of this Nazism ideology. So the boys were taught to be aggressive, to be masculine, right, and the girls were become ultimately the good mothers to rear these pure-blooded Aryan children, right? And obviously, all mothers were not treated equally, right? And the women who bore the racially undesirable children, that were basically punished. So you can think of, this was a high time, this was a high-handed time, that even not the mothers were basically treated equally, right? If they born or if they give the birth to some sort of a racially undesirable children, such mothers were also punished at that point of the time. So there was a huge time that was, some sort of an autocracy was imposed on the people by the Nazis party. And the women who produced the racially desirable children, they were basically awarded, because that is how the purest nature of the race, which was imposed on, on the people, right, by the Hitler. And the honor crosses which were awarded to encourage the women to produce many children, because ultimately they need to join, the basically army or armed forces, in order to fight the war. And and whoever the woman who did not follow the prescribed code of conduct, such type of women were basically publicly condemned, and they were inflicted the severe punishment on them. So you can think of such type of, the system that was there during the Hitler. Okay, now there was a art of propaganda regarding, such type of the ideologies. So mass killing that was basically inflicted on the Jews, that were termed as a special treatment, right? They were also termed as a final solution. They were also termed as nausea, or they were also known as disinfection and the selection. So mass killing was termed, and they were named as the different name, right? And there was also the Nazi ideas that were spread through the visual images, the films, radios, posters, the catchy slogans, and the left apps, right? Everything was involved, right, to spread the Nazis ideology in the Germany, right? So Nazi ideas were basically spread through such images, and the posters, the enemies of the Germany, right? They are the main enemies of the Germany, that was the Jews, were shown as a evil at that point of the time. And the mass killing of the Jews were basically termed as a special treatment, right, or disinfection of the basically the Germany, right? So there was crimes against the humanity, because you must understand, right? Because the Nazis party have killed the millions of the Jews in that process. So many people in the Germany basically influenced by the idea of Nazi that was there at that point of the time, right? And many people think that the Nazi would bring the prosperity and improve the general well-being of the country, because in the previous, the previous parliamentary system, or the democratic parliamentary system, that could not, saves the people from the huge depression. So they thought that this Nazism ideology would bring the prosperity and improve the well-being of the citizens. So obviously you must understand that every German was not a Nazi, but few people followed this ideology. And obviously the large majority of the Germans was basically passive onlookers. They were forced to to follow the path that was basically shown by the Nazis. And at the last, there was process called Holocaust. What is Holocaust? The millions of the Jews were basically killed, right, in the concentration camps. So Jews basically collected and and preserved the documents, and they basically wrote the diaries, kept the notebooks, and created the archives, right, which were called the Holocaust. So Holocaust are basically all sort of a preserved and collected documents that were basically kept in the diaries or the notebooks, right? So what the Jews want to remember the every section of the word, right, these atrocities and the sufferings, right, that were inflicted by the Nazis, by the Nazi party, right, on the Jews. So they wanted the world to remember, right, with the help of this Holocaust, with the help of these preserved documents, with the help of these diaries, right, so that they could learn how the Jews basically endured during the Nazi killing operations. So that was there, and millions of the Jews were basically killed during such operations. All right, so that's all for today. That's all for the today. So thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.